Hi drawing students, so welcome back. So part 2 of trees or tree drawing. What I would like you to do is either go outside and sit and draw a tree or take a photograph of a tree from your neighborhood and you can bring it inside and look at it and draw. It's your choice. And you can choose any type of tree. It's just kind of up to you, and the angle will probably make a difference. I think the biggest thing is that you can see light and dark on it when you zoom in. So look for that. Make sure you can see where the shadows and textures are. And it can be small or it can be large. It's just your choice. So whatever your preference is, find a tree that you want to either sit outside and draw or take a photo of and bring it in and draw. So I'm going to start with this one. Last time we were together, I showed you how to use your pencil on its side, and super important that you have a lot of graphite showing, so that makes this process easier. Now, what I don't want you to do is just go back to your old ways and sketch the tree and then fill it in. I want you to try and use a new method and a different way of thinking. So I'm holding the pencil from the top. I'm going to mark where the bottom is. And I'm going to try and just focus my eyes on the tree itself and trust my hand to kind of guide and follow it. And that could go wrong, but I'm going to just give it a try. And I'm using the side of my pencil to make this rough texture. So every time I see a little bump in the tree, like over here, I'm going to make a little bump. I'm trying not to over exaggerate. And then as I go up on the tree, I can see other little weird things, and it's basically going to go up and off my page. Now I've got this, I'm going to go back down to the bottom of it, and the texture of the tree is kind of naturally evolving just because I'm using the side of my pencil, and I can zoom in a little closer and look at, okay, this is kind of a little more like of a bump like this here, and then there's two big trunks overlapping, and I see one and then the other, so I'm trying to draw this first one. I'm going to push a little harder on my pencil because that edge looks darker. So trying to slow your eyes down a little bit and draw what you see. You can't always flip everything over. So upside down drawing worked because it changed your ability to focus. Now I'm just asking you to focus and slow down a little bit. So that second layer of the tree looks like after this bump, then this part breaks off and it goes out and kind of curves. And then there's a branch that kind of shoots out like this and goes up like that. And this is going to look kind of weird at first, I think. I'm going to just try and make this part appear darker. And then the second one a little bigger. And then looks like this goes up and just kind of disappears. And then this chunk right here, I've got this side, this branch changes and it's a little darker there. So I'm pushing harder on my pencil. And I'm going to go out and then up on that branch, and I'm letting it get a little skinnier, and it's definitely darker on one side. So I've got that part. And then I can see like right here, it's a little darker. So we're playing with value a little bit. And I'm going to kind of scumble or make rough little marks on my tree to make it look rough. Trying to create that impression. And on this part, it's a little darker on this side too. So I'm kind of scribbling or scumbling with the side of my pencil to create that like rough texture. So again, I'm just doing this basically with the side of my pencil to kind of give it that rough texture. And then there is another branch that goes off here, so not to forget about that. And there's a stump part right here. So if I push a little harder with my pencil and just kind of pull a little bit, I can kind of create that little bit of a circle. And like before, I can rotate this. That would help me probably see it more clearly. So I'm going to go to where I can adjust, and I'm going to tap on the crop tool, and then up here at the top I can rotate it. Done. and it's upside down. And then I'm going to turn my paper upside down so I can draw the other side of it and also just see what I'm doing. I feel like it'll be a little easier for me. So I'm going to go over here. You can't obviously do this if you're drawing outside, but then I'm drawing this branch. There's that little thing that sticks out right there. And this branch is going to come up and wiggle over and go out. So I want you to spend some time drawing a tree that you see in real life. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I want you to use this method. I am going to fast forward this drawing work. All right, drawing students. So I definitely noticed that I had made some mistakes in placing these branches, but at this point, I'm really just more interested in having you follow the lines of the trees and make the texture and kind of work with the side of your pencil to figure out how to make those marks. So your final step should be just checking the edges of your image and like going within it and making rougher texture marks with the side of your pencil and going along the edge and just making a little more interesting line without really changing the tree itself. So I'm going along the edge. I'm looking for like the side, the outside of it. I'm not trying to put an outline on it, but I'm trying to give it like that rougher texture appearance that it kind of has in nature, or this specific tree does. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is add a few little branch pieces and use my eraser to change lights and little dark areas there. I'm kind of cheating on this one, but using my eraser to make lights. And then some of the little branch pieces that kind of just float off. It's little like sucker branches over here. There's a strange little one that comes off like this. And I can go along all these little edges to kind of clarify things. And I can also use my eraser to just kind of clean up along the edges. Now you can choose to draw leaves if there are still leaves on the tree, or you can choose to skip it. I really just wanted to see how you do following the lines and creating this texture kind of illusion. And notice I made it a little darker here, but maybe a little too dark, so I'll use my eraser and just kind of like tap it to lift a little of that light out. It's not a one and done situation, so if you find like, oh, this needs more, whatever, just go and add it. Draw more onto it. I'm looking for your detail and your observation of the object in these drawings. I want you to slow down and really pay attention to what's there. and the little marks in the end might make the biggest difference. So if I wanted to try and draw leaves here, because I have a little bit more of a closer view of this, I probably would start pretty like light and small. Sorry, my kids are talking in the background. But I'm not going to make the specific leaf shape and draw that out everywhere. I'm just going to keep it kind of light. There are multiple trees in this area. I don't know which tree this is really going to come from. So my end result's going to look something like this. I just wanted to give you a couple of tips before you finish your tree drawing from life or from your area. Look at it more carefully, be a little forgiving if things are a little off. Don't sweat it too much, just keep going. And you should be trying to use like a little more of a whole page like I am. And then again, not this. Okay, this is a no-go.